What is the most hilariously inaccurate fact someone has told you? My roommate tried to convince me that there are chimpanzee people in the jungle because isolated tribes are getting it on with the monkeys. I tried to explain how species reproduce and quickly realized he thinks you can bang a horse and get a centaur. My ex was telling me how, if a male lion has a broken leg and he fathers cubs, they will all have a broken leg when they're born. Also, I had a coworker who claimed there was a human-sized jackrabbit near the bus stop she used to take bus to work, and that she saw it all the time. It's possible to breathe underwater. She then tried to demonstrate, and snorted a bunch of lake water up her nose. She was 14 at the time. That's like the truism of, babies born in a birthing pool can live their whole lives underwater if they don't surface and take a breath. Well yeah, just their whole life is incredibly short. Build a man a fire and he'll be warm for the night. Set a man on fire and he'll be warm for the rest of his life. Every mushroom is edible. Some are only edible once. Peacocks don't have sex. A female gets pregnant when it eats the teardrops of the male. Not me but my mom. She was walking with a group of friends on a popular trail in the UK. She has quite an outspoken friend. Let's call her Sally. The group saw a number of Chinese tourists taking pictures of the sheep along the trail. One of the group asked, "I wonder why they are all taking pictures of sheep all the time?" To which Sally replies, "It's because they don't have sheep in China." The group all believed Sally, and thought it was an amazing fact. My mum decided to regurgitate the fact one dinner time, saying that Sally had told her so. I called bullshit, so Googled it there and then. Turns out China has the largest population of sheep in the entire world. My mum has never lived that down. Has she never seen a British person taking a picture of sheep before? And I mean, we have sheep in the US, but I sure as heck took photos of some the one time I was in Scotland. I was told random strangers would offer me drugs my whole life. Did you know if you take acid you have a 1/5 chance of jumping through a window? I've taken acid over 50 times and never once thought that would be a fun or good idea. An old boss explained to me one day that hearing men sing causes women's brains to release some kind of sex hormone that makes us crazy. This is why girls and women screamed and fainted over the Beatles back in the day, and why we get all hysterical at concerts. He said it in this really condescending tone, too, like he was dropping some deep knowledge on me that I probably wouldn't understand, but that's how he explained most things anyway. Fucking hated that idiot. I knew a guy who thought he could get a girlfriend by bringing very large photography lenses into clubs and pointing them at women because they are seduced by the phallus shape and like the attention. He also wore a fedora and a suit in 90-degree weather and had this kind of weed whacker mustache. I admired his charisma and brazen stupidity. You can get black lung disease from overcooking the marshmallows for Esmores. Africa is one country. We had literally just finished a geography segment about the countries in Africa. My cousin's wife told me that blue-eyed babies can't wear Pampers diapers because they're all allergic. This is just so out of left field. Like, what was her reasoning? Where did she learn this? She isn't very smart in general, and she was basing it off of her experience with her only child. She also told me you can't drink too much water when you're pregnant because you'll have too much amniotic fluid, which could hurt the baby. I had another glass of water immediately after. Soap makes the water molecules smaller, that's how it cleans. Goats lay eggs. A several-minute argument followed, and I did not convince him he was wrong. I work in meat processing. Not that that's necessary to know that goats don't lay eggs, but it just made the argument all the more ridiculous. I'd literally seen goats born live countless times, and yet he argued. Very few mammals lay eggs. People are weird, man. I always like, if they are undercover law enforcement and you ask, they have to tell you. I've heard a similar fact, that if they are in the Illuminati, and you ask 3 times, they can't deny it on the 3rd time. Who comes up with this stuff? The shape of the banana and the way it fits your hand so well are proof that God exists. He stopped using that argument when one of our coworkers pointed out that dicks fit hands pretty well too. Does he just not know about artificial selection? Before humans started breeding them for desirable traits, wolves would regularly kill people, corn had like 5 kernels per ear, cabbage, broccoli, and cauliflower didn't exist, and watermelon was hard and bitter. To be fair though, the original domesticated banana, Musa acuminata, is fairly similar in shape to the modern Cavendish banana but not the same. They're too short to hold with your whole hand and still have more than a bite or two sticking out. That masturbating will give you hairy palms. I had a teacher in high school tell us this, and the number of guys and girls who checked their hands immediately was hilarious. I had to really slam on the brain filter to keep from doing it myself, but you better believe I examined my hands thoroughly in the bathroom after class. I really hope someone glued hair onto their palms ready for the next class with that teacher. Just with a Chewbacca costume and tell the teacher, it ain't just the palms. I was talking to a guy at the bar, and he was telling me how soap is unnecessary for washing your hands. All you need is a combination of hot water and cold water. Not warm, but use both cold and hot. I did not shake his hand. This is a story that is too long to type in full, but I once got into a disagreement with some random dude at an A&W because he thought that 1/4, 1/4, was more than 1/3, 1/3. His reasoning was that since 1/4 has a 4 and 1/3 has a 3, and 4 is 1 unit higher than 3, then 1/4 is more than 1/3. The worst part was that in order to prove him wrong, I asked the cashier girl which weighed more. She didn't know. Then I asked the next person in line. That idiot said 1/4. Do you have any idea how infuriating it is to have a complete idiot think that he's smarter than you because everyone in the room is just as dumb as he is? This is exactly why Wendy's switched their standard burger from 1/3 to 1/4. Too many people complained that 1/3 was smaller. North Carolina can't be in the South. It has North in its name. Gay men have sex by slapping their ass cheeks together. I died laughing. When I was a kid, I thought gay men did it by just whacking their dongs together and couldn't work out why my mate's older brother laughed so much when I said it once. My mom told me Michael Jackson died from eating too many potato chips in an attempt to get me to stop snacking. My dad told me that tongue piercings caused heart failure really commonly. My mom told me that writing on your hand was the same as ingesting poison. When my brother and I were little, my dad would tell us that Bill Richter lost an arm or a leg doing whatever stupid shit we were doing. At one point I wised up and told my dad that no one man could have sustained such a comprehensive list of injuries or lost more than 2 arms. I to this day have no clue who Billy Richter is. Billy Richter was a man famous for being born with 17 arms and 23 legs. Sadly, by the end of his life he was down to 5 and 11 respectively due to having done stupid things like running with scissors, putting his feet up on the table, and sitting too close to the TV. My ex argued that fossils weren't actually old, and those creatures never existed. They were just stuck there to confuse us. It's to test your faith. Yeah, no thanks, I have no desire to be gaslit by a sky wizard. My parents tried to convince me that homosexuality is caused by vaccines. Little do they know that I'm gay even though they didn't have me vaccinated as a kid. Why do all these straight parents keep having gay babies? LOL. The internet is in the sky. I explained how it's in the ocean. They ganged up on me and said, it's called the cloud because it's in the sky, duh. It was 3 of them versus 1 of me. I walked away losing the debate. There's power in numbers, folks. Those 3 probably make up 1 brain cell. That, mind over matter, was real, meaning that you could lift objects with your mind, etc. It was a great conversation. Her, you can do all kinds of stuff with your mind. Me, like what? Her, lift things, bend spoons, etc. Me, okay, cool. Can you bend something for me? Her, well no, my mind isn't that good. Me, then why should I listen to you? A woman I worked with a long time ago told me that her proof of Christianity being the correct religion is that it was the first one. This is too funny. I mean, many past religions aside, the Bible discusses Judaism. Hell, even Jesus was Jewish. Let's ignore the Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Babylonians, the Persians, the Mesopotamians, etc. for a moment. Jesus was Jewish. That's a whole, huge thing in the Bible, about whether or not Jesus is the Messiah or just another prophet. It's part of why Jesus gets crucified, and why the Romans mock him for being king of the Jews. This is Christianity 101. What a fact? Catholic schoolteacher, nun, explains that raped women can't get pregnant because God wouldn't let that happen. Therefore, if they did get pregnant, it must have been consensual. There was a failed Senate candidate who made the same argument. The body has a way to shut the whole thing down. He was Republican and lost his race. In a pretty red state. When you go to Liverpool and start singing a Beatles song, everybody will join in like it's some Disney movie. The guy was dead serious. A woman at a party I was attending over a decade ago insisted that the largest member of the rodent family is the polar bear. I looked at her in absolute disbelief and replied that they weren't rodents, they were fucking bears. She had a PhD, too, shaking my head. This almost feels like one of those crazy facts that you think there's no way is true but kind of is by a technicality. Like I could say palm trees are grass. They aren't actually grass, but they are monocots like grass and are more closely related to grasses than woody trees, so if you skip a couple steps you could try to pass it as a fun fact. Smoking weed strengthens your lungs. No, it does not. What is the most hilariously inaccurate fact someone has told you? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.